card. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the weekly outlook. Let's start. There are some questions. If you guys can hold your questions to the end, that would be good, because then I'll be able to deal with them, right? So don't type more questions now. We'll take all at the end. So let's start with some very nice charts. Normally, we look at the dollar index first. And the dollar index is at this position. Remember, we said we'll be looking at this chart to tell us if it's going to break out or if it is going to come back. So we are at the line. Breaking the line does not mean anything. Somebody asked the question already today. I said, those lines are insignificant. Those lines are not support and resistance. Those lines are not turning points. Those lines are there to tell us what pattern we're looking at. That's all. That is the only value of those lines, nothing else. And if you don't know that, then you're probably making a big mistake thinking that putting lines on the chart is important so that you can trade there. I see some traders copying my charts and saying, well, if it turns here, if it breaks there, that changes the structure. If it comes down to that, well, that's not true. And I looked at it and I smile every time I see something so crazy, right? If it breaks this line and the line is incorrect and the structure is incorrect, the line is to tell me what structure I'm looking at. And unless you understand patterns and you know them very well, you wouldn't know what you're looking at. You will just draw lines. So we're looking at a possibility of an expanding triangle here. That is one possibility. It will still go up. The second possibility we're looking at is that this is probably an expanding flat and this is going up. So either case, either we come down back and then go up, or we go up now. We're expecting dollar to make an up move. So if we see a consolidation here, and I think that's likely what we will see this week, we're going to continue to go up. If we see a reversal, which means a very sharp move down and then a consolidation, we will all be selling to the low. That is like this, a sharp move down and then a consolidation, and then we'll be all selling. So you want to know what was the trade call for that one? Let's put that to 2 days. These charts were posted in 2 days charts, right? You see, when we saw that, an impulse and a consolidation, we looked for a down trade, right? That's what we look for. When we saw that, we said this thing is coming down, and it is coming down to retest this low. It will break that low, and then it will go back up. This was the forecast that was made. Which one? See that? You want to play that forecast and see how it went? Let's go take a look at it just for the fun, right? No lines drawn anywhere in that, right? Because we were not looking at the lines. They did come down very nicely to this low. They broke this low, see that? And what did they do? They take off to the upside. Now, what I thought at that time was that this pattern is going to be a simple 1, 2, 3 flat, and they're going to go up. Now, it might not just be that simple. Now, it could be a triangular pattern, which has a 5-wave structure inside of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go up. The upside has not changed. If they are going to go up from here, we're going to look for, in a 4-hour, we're going to look for a corrective structure. So we would look for them to make something like this. Not exactly like this, but that's how I'll draw it. And then we will all be trading the dollar up for one last impulse before the dollar starts to fall crazily. This would be the last impulse of the dollar up on the weekly chart, and we'll have a weekly correction. Dollar will be going down very, very, very strong after that. So watch this. Let me show you that on the weekly. This is the last impulse on the weekly to the upside. We've had one impulse. We have had a correction. We've had another impulse. We have a correction. If this is going to go now, that will be the last impulse before you get a very, very deep pullback. It is not going to come in a straight line, but they will fall, pull back, fall, pull back. It's going to be a deep correction. Same here. They're going to come down here. This is not the fall. This is just part of the correction to go back up and then the fall. So either way, whether we get this or we don't, we are looking for one more impulse on the dollar. So it's now going to happen, or it's going to happen next year. Depends on if this comes back down. We were going to get some really nice trades if that happened, because if you look at the euro, you're seeing the opposite. Euro will either come back to this top and then fall, or it's going to fall through the bottom here, and that will be the end of the euro to the downside before it goes back up crazily. Really, really strong euro upside and dollar downside. This would be it. It's not going to go to nowhere, as people like to say, right? This would probably be the last impulse to the downside. And then we're going to look for it to go back up. So we're within that structure, and that structure is working pretty good going to daily. So is it bouncing? Remember, this trend line, nothing. Once they break this low, that negates the pattern we're looking at. We're looking at a contracting triangle here. If on the dollar, we are looking at an expanding triangle, this one is a contracting triangle. So would it come back up to the top here? Let's go look at it in the 4-hour. Don't rush to jump into buys and sells. People are already writing me message. Can I buy it right now? I'm like, well, if you ask, you shouldn't buy it because you have no idea what you're doing. Allow this to make an impulsive move. This is nothing here. This could still go down. Let them break out. Let them make an impulse. There's no need to rush. Let them make an impulse. And when they make an impulse to the upside, they will correct here for a very long time. You would probably be in a week or two correcting here before that move starts up. And you can get a lot of very nice trades to the upside. So there's no rush to get this in a 5-minute and in a 3-minute and in a 1-minute chart because you'll end up taking losses for no reason. Wait for this to break out. Wait for an impulse. I could show you previously. And I've traded those patterns and I've made a lot of money in them and I know what I'm talking about, right? This one I traded. We wait for the correction. We traded it again. There was a number of them here already. If you didn't get that first impulse, you got the trade in from here, going up. So you don't have to get in on the very first impulse to the upside, but you can get in if you see this one is actually the breakout of this here. That pattern there, that's the break of this structure. All of you remember that? So the same thing here. If we get a similar structure here, wait for them to break out. If it's going to be a news event, you know how to trade it, right? If you don't know how to trade it, don't trade it. Pong, very similar. I posted all these Pong charts, say watch this to go back. I remember there was a buy here and people were going like, this guy has no idea what he's going to do. This thing is going to go down, go down, go down forever. Somehow people always think it's going to go down as long as it's going down. Well, it's not. It's going to make 1, 2, 3 and then it's going to go down, right? They made 1, 2, 3. Now they're going down. So is it 1, 2, 3 the complete pattern? Or is it a pattern that is going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? If it's going to give you 5, you're going to get this fifth one, and then you're going to go down, right? So we'll have to check to see if we're going to get that fifth one and then go down. It is still going to go down one more. We're still in a weekly downtrend, a daily downtrend, right? The downtrend is not changed as yet. We're just making this move that could be an ending diagonal, or as some of us like to call them, never-ending diagonal. Or it is going to go back up a little more here and then come down. So is it an upside 4-hour? You can also wait for this trade to tell you no need to rush. Actually, there was a nice trade in the 15 minutes here. 1 hour, sorry. There's a nice trade in the 1 hour. You can see that already. I don't know if my traders take it. That was the trade they should take today and move it to break even and don't do anything, right? Now, that could come down back. I'm not telling them to buy it for this. This is not why we are buying it. We are buying it just in case it breaks out. So if they manage to get in, which is they will probably have to get in an entry order there. There's no other way to get in there. If they manage to get this trade, it's okay. They move it to break even and leave it. If it breaks here, that is the trade we'll be looking for. If it comes down back on the break of this pattern, you can all sell. So this week, we will know. Definitely, I think this one, we will know this week what it's going to do. It's going to go up or it's going to go down. You just have to wait for that trade to complete itself, right? And then we will know what to do. One out of the two sides. Give me 1 second, guys. Just 1 second. 1 minute. I need to check something here. Okay, sorry about that. I just had to answer to somebody there very fast. Urgent. Okay, let's go. Yeah. So this trade is going to happen this week. So pay attention to this one because I'll post updates on this. When it breaks, we will get a correction. We'd look for that trade up. Or this trade down is an amazing one because to the downside, it is going to be a huge trade, right? That's not a cat voice. That's my son. Somebody said they had a cat voice. It's a child. It's my son. He's just 9 months old, and I had just to go check on him there. The babysitter is not just draw my attention. So it's just for a minute. Let's go. Yep. So watch this here. He's an amazing 9-month-old. So Aussie is just amazing, right? All of you could remember how everybody was looking for all kind of stuff on the Aussie to see what they should trade or what they shouldn't trade. It's simple. It's called the power of wave analysis, and it's something you can't guess. You just can't guess that this is what the chart will do, guys. I know people like to think, oh, this guy is just pulling lines and guessing his way, right? Well, I want you to guess your way this way. One up, one down, one up, one down. And you want to see how that worked? You can't just guess this thing. This is no guessing stuff. There's nowhere you can say accidentally you did that. These things don't happen by accident. That is how structure behaves. See that? Doesn't happen by accident. It's not a guess. It's not a pin bar in the chart. Oh, you see a pin bar, let's go sell. My traders today learned in our class that we did today why they shouldn't trade pin bars. They also learned today why they shouldn't trade advanced pattern, and they also learned why they shouldn't trade support and resistance. Because today we had a very nice class. And they learned why they shouldn't do that, why you need to learn to read the structure. Right? You can't guess. I mean, you could guess it's going to go down. You can guess it's going to go up. You can't guess it's going to make 1, 2, 3, 4 moves, and all 4 happen perfectly. That's not a guess. Nowhere you can do that, right? So learn to read structure. And when I say learn to read structure, don't look for someone who has wave in his name, right? Something is wrong there. You know, it's just crazy stuff people do in this place. So watch this thing. Learn to read the structure is very good. It will give you an edge in your trading. So watch this trade. I still think there is more to go. We're going to come to retest this low here. So it means for all of you who haven't got anything out of this, wait for it to come back here. Wait for it to come back here. It will. And then look for the next trade down. Now, you're not going to get that trade today or tomorrow. You may even get a buy to the upside. If we see a nice buy to the upside, we'll take it. Let me see if there's a buy. No, not as yet, but there may be. In any case, look for a sell setup. If you're not sure, look for a sell setup, because the sell setup is the guarantee you want to go. The buy setup is maybe it will go, right? So keep focus on this, and let's see how this goes. New Zealand, also looking downside. We know New Zealand was going to go down. We've been talking for that for a while. But if you look at what New Zealand's structure is doing now, let me give you guys a click. Okay. I'm looking at this pattern here, and I'm looking at this pattern here, and the similarities are very, 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 very strong. So there is a chance we still get that. Remember, we were looking for one more up from here. There's a chance we get that one more up, but as a higher degree. Not in the degree that I was looking for it, but in a higher degree. So there is a possibility that we still get one more up. And that means Euro goes up, Aussie goes up, New Zealand goes up, and Pound goes up. Aussie completes this pattern, 1, 2, 3, and go up. That possibility exists. So just be careful. Watch these trades. Short-term downside, very short-term. Once they break that low, we'll start looking for turning points. And in New Zealand, we're already looking for turning points, which means, is it turning now? Is this the turn? Or is it going to make more downside within this structure? So you can take this off, or you can take this one off. Is it going to make more downside within this structure, like it's going to come back here and go down some more? We know they make these expansions here, and then they go up. This is called an expanding ending diagonal. It's not complete. So there's chance it's going to go down some more. And then we're going to look for upside. So in the 60 minutes, if you get a nice sell setup in this one here, breaking down here, there's a trade you can probably get there. Right? And you'll go for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure before you go back up. Right? So let's see, maybe, just maybe, that doesn't always have to happen. Once they break this structure, I'll be posting buy setups. And the buy setups may be long-term, not short-term, long-term. So we'll keep an eye on that. Swiss, we're definitely short in this. We're looking downside. It's not ready to go as yet, but we're looking downside. We're looking for this structure here, this ABC structure. A, BC structure to break down. Hopefully, we have been actually looking at this for that structure to come down a very long while. Not only now, we're looking for this structure to repeat itself down here. We thought it was going to happen here. We were already in that cell. We got taken out of the cell, and it went up higher than we expected. So now we're going to look for this one to come down. That did not change the structure. It changed the pattern we were looking at, right? And that's possible. We understand what type of pattern exists, and we know how they develop. Yen, very similar structure. If you look at this, take this out, that's not correct. I'm just showing my traders something. Very similar structure as in the Swiss, 1, 2, 3. Do we get one more down as in this one? 1, 2, 3, and then you get one more down. Now, if it is not going to go down, let's assume that this was the low and this thing is totally going up. All you have to do is get a proof of let them pull back like this, and we'll all be in that trade going. So the yen for this week may be dangerous to trade in that we don't know what the structure will do as it stands here. But for now, we're looking for a sell setup. We will treat this as if it's going down totally, and we will look for a sell setup in it. Which means once we get a sell setup, it's not ready as yet, but once we get a sell setup, we'll take the trade. Now, last week, I think I said, watch it for the sell setup here, and I post that. We did sell that. We did take that sell. And we tried to get it out for break even. We were in a little profit, and we were trying to get it out for break even before the news event. And we didn't manage, but we closed it, I think, was a 10, 12 pips, something like that. A loss of 10, 12 pips. We closed it before the news event because we assumed that in the news event they could make this structure, and we were correct about that. And we looked at that structure because we were looking at a CAD, and when we look at a CAD in the 4-hour, we saw the possibility for them to make this structure and go up once more. For this to go up one more. So we were all in the CAD cell. And in our trading room, we closed the CAD here, and we were waiting for it to break to go up. Now, we did not buy the CAD. I'm not interested in the CAD buy. All of you know that, no secret. I'm interested in the sell. If it had come up here, I'll be in a sell already. It's not there as yet. There's a possibility this will still go back up. Now, maybe short term, it's a buy. Long term, it's a sell setup, just like this one here. I think this one had a little buy in here. You probably wouldn't have got that. It went pretty fast. There were some buys in here, but we're looking. I'm not interested in that buy either. I'm interested in the sell and CAD. So when it gets to the top, I would be looking to sell it again. So I'm looking for CAD sell. I'm looking for Swiss sell. I'm looking for yen sell. Upside euro, upside Pong. Pong is an if one. I'm not sure about that. Upside Aussie. Aussie still has some more downside first, then upside Aussie. New Zealand, possibly upside. If it goes up, it's going to be long term or short term. I have no clue. Remember, they don't all have to do the same things, but that is what we're going to look for this week. If they go the opposite direction, maybe we trade some, maybe we don't. If they go opposite direction, I'll be trading New Zealand to the downside and Aussie to the downside. I will not be trading CAD to the upside. I will not be trading Swiss to the upside. I will not be trading yen to the upside. Unless they make 4-hour corrections, which means they will have to correct for 3, 4, 5, 6 days before I'm interested in getting them up. So no buys in those, but sell on the New Zealand and sell on the Aussie, I'm definitely going to do. Sell on the euro after a consolidation. Sell on the pound, definitely, because the pound is already consolidated. So if they don't do what I expect, I got 3 pairs to trade. If they do what I expect them to do, I got all the pairs to trade, and I'll make my choice. I would not trail all of them, right? Let's go look at gold and silver because we looked at that very often. Okay, I have another order here that I shouldn't have got on. Let's go. Daily. Remember, we're saying there's one more down. Will the one more down happen? I think there's going to be a trade to the upside. I have an order there. I shouldn't have had on for you guys here. We're looking for a trade back to this level and then maybe down, but most likely up. Now, that has some ways to trigger. I think it's going to go down some more, so we are not in a hurry. We have an entry order to buy there. Not something I should have on here right now. We're looking for this to come down slowly and tag us here with a buy here and then up. So we're looking for a buy zone within this level. Right, some more down and then the upside. You guys ignored this. That was something I was showing my traders what to do, right? So at some point, we're thinking this here is going to stop what it's doing and up. That is for silver, and very similar for gold. Right, very similar for gold. It's going down. It's going to go down some more, go down some more, go down some more, but watch for the turn to the upside. It could be pretty fast. That is why we have an entry order on silver, right? Because the upside could be pretty fast. This is what we see in the structure. Nothing new, right? We saw 1, 2, 3 up. We saw 1, 2, 3 down, and we're looking for another 1, 2, 3 up. Is this over? We don't know. We'll watch it when it comes here. Breakout or come back down, depends on how the structure goes up. Same thing here. Remember what we said? We would look for that trade, but it depends on how the structure goes up. When we saw that structure, we said one more down. Same here. When we see this structure, we'll decide one more down or total up. But we are buying. Right? We'll look for the buy setup. Now, I know some people are crazily buying gold, and they're pretty much like, gold is gonna go. Just hold your trades. It's gonna go hold. If you keep doing that, you may end up losing your account. If you keep, if you keep trading your personal belief and not what the chart is doing, you'll end up losing your account. You remember, you have to understand what pattern it's creating, and if you know what pattern, you know how these patterns behave. And if you understand how the patterns behave, you understand what trade to be in, what trade to get the hell out of, right? This thing could go a lot more down. This move up could just be a simple correction, and then you watch it go up quite a lot more. So there's no telling what it's going to do, and there you can't be saying, well, okay, I'm buying because I think the Feds are going to do this. You don't know what they're going to do, right? The pound just broke to the upside. Well, surprise, surprise, right? Was there a news event that they pushed it up in? Let's go. They could use some event to push that up. Well, good trade. All you have to do now, those of you who are not in it, wait for a pullback. Right? Wait for a pullback and then take the trade up. Okay, let's go. Let's look at oil. We will look at some more of the crosses. Some people are asking for Euro New Zealand. So we'll look at some of the crosses just now. So let's go. Oil. I warned that be careful. They're going to make this pattern. And you have to just look at the chart. This one was pretty easy. I don't know what people are drawing in their charts or what they're looking at, but this one was pretty easy. Just look at the corrective structures they made here. Look at the corrective structure they make here, and then you can make a wild guess that they'll probably do something similar here. Not exactly, but similar, right? So that's what we're looking for. If they do that, then you have a trade to the downside. This thing has 3 waves in it, right? We only finished 1. We only complete 1 wave so far, right? That is this one. We didn't need to complete 1 down, 1 more up. You can look for a sell setup here very soon. Then look for a buy setup, and then look for the sell again, right? If you're good at it, that means if you understand how structure behaves, right? So far, I don't see any of that possibilities yet. So wait on that one. Natural gas. The UK oil is similar. The natural gas, we understand that it's going to make a deep correction here. There was a buy setup for my traders there. You will probably get some more buy setups up, but don't expect it to go anywhere. It is going to be in this move here for a while, and then it's going to go back up. There's going to be a big consolidation here, and then what will this pattern be like? I have no idea. We only have 1 leg in that pattern. That is this leg. It could have 3 waves, it could have 5 waves, and then it could have 7 waves, and then we will decide what it is, and then we're going to decide how to trade it. But for now, you can trade within this structure. That is within this range here. You can take short-term trades in 1 hour within the range, right? Because it's consolidating within that range. So this was a buy setup. If you get something like that here, you got another buy setup to go. Very likely they could come back deep and then go back up because they're making a corrective structure, right? That was the only pound movement I saw on my charts. I don't see anything else moving. S&P 500, they're crawling up very slow, very, very slow. If you look at that 1 hour, on the daily, they're going up. There's absolutely no reason not to think they're not going to go up. And I think we're going to actually see them come to about this level, maybe this 2.7 or maybe this level. I think that level we'll see. And then that may end this fifth wave. So one thing I would advise traders not to do is try to interpret or put counts where I don't have them, right? Because you're very likely wrong. I am not counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. That is incorrect by all means. I am not even looking at this entire structure as a motive wave, right? So it's a corrective structure to the upside, and it is a 3-wave structure on the monthly. So don't put counts where I don't have them and tell me that is what I have there, right? This is an ABC. All of this is just one wave. We made a deep correction. They're going up. They will pull back some and then go. So if you look at the 1 hour, you can see that they're likely may pull back some, right? See this weakness here? It's still going up, so which means you're a buyer. But just be aware that this slow pattern here could either take off or come down back and then go, right? In any case, if they break this, you want to be out of the trade and look for a buy lower. But the upside is going to happen. There's no question about that. If everybody keep your question for the end, you will get it answered. If you post it now, I may likely not see the question, right? Because everybody else is posting, right? So Nifty, a lot of people ask me to update this for them. So we're getting a very deep pullback on Nifty. I think they will come deeper. We may see them come deeper. It's not the end of the move. I don't think it is. If you get a corrective structure, sell, but long term, it's probably going to go back up, right? As long as you're in the uptrend, I'm looking for long-term upside. Put it to daily. I'm still looking for long-term upside on this, right? I don't think they're making a bigger correction here as yet. We don't have enough reasons to think that. Put it in a daily and put it in a 4 hour. Somewhere along before this trend, I think you could see a turn. But if they make a corrective structure, sell. Make a corrective structure, sell until you get the turn before you start buying. So right now, short-term sell, very short-term sell, which means you sell, you take profit, you get out. The longer-term trade should be to the upside. Copper, we're getting a short-term sell setup here if you want. Right, this nice short-term sell setup here if you want that. Copper was amazing in the daily. Some of my traders, I think 3 of my traders got that trade. Some of them got a part of it. Some of them got the trade itself. On the daily, we posted this one. Remember that chart with the update? No, sorry, not that one. That one was the buy. Worked well too. That worked well, and then we updated it to this one, right? That possible triangle, yeah. And if any one of you were following that buy, see that buy there? If you're following that buy, it turned out to be amazing, right? They did make that move, and they make it pretty sharp, pretty fast. That was an amazing move up there. So that never stopped. The only place you could have gotten in that trade in real was in here and in here. That was where my traders got in. This, when we waited for that consolidation, never happened. It just took off. Now you're getting a consolidation for a sell setup, right? You're getting a consolidation here, and if they do something like this here, you're looking for a sell. This could be a long-term trade to the downside or just one short impulse. Either way, you're good, right? You make some good profit, then you get out. You move your stop, it takes you out, it goes back up, and we look for the buy again. For the XAU, XAG, it's making corrections there, so it will go up some more, but then there's a big long-term trade to the downside, right? This is a big long-term trade to the downside when they finish the correction. Not something we trade. We just looked at it because only a few brokers trade. It's only a few of my people. Some very nice long-term trades you may want to focus on. Euro New Zealand, we're looking at a Euro New Zealand for a possible long-term trade. Some more downside first. This has not changed. We've been looking at this trade for a very long time, right? So there's a possibility they're making this correction. They go back up a little and come down here for one more, like this correction here. Remember that sell setup. So I think this is a sell setup in the making, like this one also, right? Sell setup in the making for one more down, and then we'll start to get that upside because we will be very, very close to the 886. That is this one. We already took out the 786. We'll be at the 886. That's the 886 fib. So once this make a correction here and start to come down, we will probably get to about this level, maybe a little higher. And somewhere along this line here, maybe even here, we will start to see the turn. So once we get that turn, you're in a very, very, very long-term trade, guys. Don't miss it. I've been showing this trade for over a month now, maybe 2-3 months now. Don't miss this trade to the upside. You're looking at this trade here. Don't miss that trade. So if you keep coming and you keep following the charts that I do, you'll probably see the chart when it's happening. I'll post the update on that, and you'll get the trade when it's happening. It's about to happen, which means we have come very low. We've pulled back almost to the 886. That means if it is going to go, it is about time it go. Let's say they're going to make that up move, then, well, now is about the time, right? We waited so long, we traded it down, we traded up, we traded sideways, we do all kind of thing with this. Now it's about time they start taking off, which means you want to get a trade. You don't want to miss it, right? So let's see if we get that trade. What else we're looking at? We're looking at the Aussie New Zealand one for long-term trade as well. Yep, coming down some more, and I think they can come some more here. This one looks like it's making a 1, 2, 3. They'll probably come retest this low, and then we're looking for that trade up. This is the trade you're looking for. That's the first trade. Remember when they made this 1, 2, 3 in here? That was your impulse up. They made 1, they made 2, they made 3, and then you got this trade, right? So we're doing pretty much the same thing here. This is your impulse. You make 1, 2, 3, and then you get this trade up. And at this point, they'll talk to us. They either totally go or they come down back for one more. I'm betting in the totally go because I would be buying that. So I'm hoping that they go totally. And so far as we can see in the structure, there's no reason for them to come down back. Structurally, this pattern doesn't behave that way. This pattern goes. So if we get that trade, take the trade. You're looking at Aussie New Zealand. You're looking at Euro New Zealand up. So those two are looking very good to the upside. Euro could go up, Aussie could go up, and New Zealand might not go anywhere if it doesn't even fall, right? So that would be very good if Aussie go up, New Zealand go, Euro go up, and Aussie go up, but the New Zealand goes nowhere. We can also look at Pound New Zealand to see maybe Pound goes up, right? So let's look at Pound New Zealand for that trade. This one is all-time low. So if this is the low, we're going up. If this is not the low, there's a possibility that the pound gets weak and give us one more down before they go. As a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure and then go up, right? This is possible. So we're not looking for the pound New Zealand to go up, just like we remember the Aussie New Zealand and the pound New Zealand and the Euro New Zealand structure, they're different. This one actually broke the monthly low. Whereas Aussie New Zealand and Euro New Zealand is actually in monthly corrective structures. That's a whole different story. Those are in correction. This one is an impulse to the downside. And that is because of the British pound inside. So if this is going to go up, it could go up as a correction or it could be a total reversal. Not so early. I don't think it's going to go right now. So we probably don't focus on this one so much. We focus on those two. If they don't go within the next month or two, they'll probably go very soon. I think the closer, the closer we get to that low, more time goes, the stronger that move will go up. The more they get to that 886, the bigger the move to the upside we're going to get. So let's see. Do we get it? Those are the ones you can focus on. Short-term trades this week, I will post on all the charts that I see. If I see short-term trades, and on the yen pairs, I think there's a lot of short-term trades we will see to the downside if the yen goes. On the Swiss pair, I'm not so sure we're going to see a lot of them, but there will be a number of short-term trades that I'll post as we go on TradingView. All of you know I'm a TradingView because I think that's where you got the link to come from, right? Don't forget to tell people where the link is because people ask me. Right? And don't forget to like the charts if you like it, if you like the setup itself, right? So questions, let's go for questions. Let me start with the ones that are in the question. I looked at XAUSD and after the 10 years up move, it seems like ABC for another 10 years. It's probably going to be in a 20 years consolidation, Ivan. That is Ivan's question. We think the goal is going to go into 20 years consolidation. That doesn't stop us from trading it up and down. Another one. Do you have private students? I have students. I don't know whether I can call them private or not. We have students. We have a trading group. It's very strong. It's very vibrant. They have some better traders in there than I am. They trade daily. How do you control your emotions and psychology in trading? I don't think. I think a lot of traders. Here's the problem with that. I'm not a psychologist, so I can't teach you how to control your emotions. But I can tell you what I do. If I have a big trade on that is really bothering me, I need to cut the lot size down, or I need to get out of that trade. If any trade you put on is bothering you, you're over trading. It means you're not willing, you're not ready to take that loss, which means you shouldn't take the trade. Any trade you take, you must be ready to take the loss on the trade. I'm not talking about winning. You must be ready to take that trade as a loss. If you're not, don't trade, or trade smaller lot size, right? When you go to a restaurant, you don't come out crying that you just spent $200 in there, right? You don't do that. Because you spent it, you're happy you came out, right? You consider that money as spent, it's gone, and you're happy about it. Which means when you put your trade on, consider that money is spent. If you make profit out of it, great. If you don't, learn to trade. Spend more time learning to trade, right? Just cut on your life. You can't stop your emotions from happening. We're all going to be happy when we win. We're all going to be sad when we lose. We're human beings and we're alive. You can control your emotions not to interfere with the trade. That is if you have rules that say, unless it does that, I should do nothing. I should just watch it. And that means you have a good strategy. And if you have a good strategy and you have good money management, then that question is no longer valid. You don't have that question about how to control your emotions. You have the question only if you don't have a good strategy, you're not using good money management, and you're trying to do something in the trade, in the chart, that you have no idea what you're doing. Then that question comes up, right? Okay, let's see. What other questions we have? I told you I'll miss a lot of questions because they're gone way to the top. So unless you were Euro Yen, please, minimum time frame to look at. There's nothing like a minimum time frame to look at. You can look at whatever time frame you want to look at. How to use, as long as you have a strategy to trade in that time frame. How to use Fibonacci to identify Fibonacci? We don't use Fibonacci to identify pattern. That's not true. That's not even. I don't know how you can even do that. That's not right. Anybody who tells you they're using Fibonacci to identify pattern, they're trading animals in the charts, and that's not a great thing to do. They're trading bats and all those patterns, right? Butterfly and everything. Do you think it is important to know in which wave degree market? Yes, it is important to know that, because that's where you will know whether there is more to come in the long term in that chart, or the chart is a short-term chart. Well, I mean, that trade, is it for a short term, or can you keep that trade for longer term? For example, we are keeping this Aussie, we're in this Aussie CAD trade already, and we're, I think, a couple hundred pips up, maybe, if not more, and we are keeping it. And the reason we are keeping it is because there's potential to go a lot more. And let's show you that potential. I think I showed you guys this trade the last time. We're looking at a possible 1, 2, 3 here. We got a 1, 2, 3 up, and we're looking for this to make a 1, probably a 2 and a 3 here. So potentially this could go very much. And we're in the trade and it's going aggressively down. See how strong it is going? So we think that you can keep that trade for it to do this and for it to do this, and then look for a correction and then look for that. By that time, we will have a couple thousand pips up and we'll be okay with it. I'm on the monthly chart. And the daily chart, it's pretty much the same thing, right? Very sharp move down. On the 4-hour chart, you're getting a little correction now. We anticipated that. You had a correction here. There's where we sold it. And if it makes another correction here, actually, we'll be happy because we'll get another sell in it, right? Long term, it's a short trade. We took a short breakout, but we keep it for longer term because we know there is longer term potential in it. Hope that answered your question. Oh, because I talk about pattern and not about wave? Because we will not talk about wave in here. We only do that in our trading room. And there's a specific reason for that, because we count waves differently than every other Elliott wave in the world. We have learned how to identify what is a single wave. So if you take this one move here and you give it to all the Elliott wavers and trading viewer on the internet or in the world, and you ask them, tell me how many waves you have in there, you're going to get a lot of different answers. If you give all my trader that piece of thing and ask them how many waves is in there, they will all better give you the same answer. It will not change. They will all tell you exactly how much waves is in there, because they all use the rules I give them to do it. And guess what? It's amazing. It works, right? It really is amazing, and it works. You see that. You've seen my work in TradingView, right? You see that it really works. That is why we will not talk about waves in these webinars. We only talk about them in our trading room and in our trading group. If you want to know how we do it, you're welcome to join us. The last few days have been some long wicks and some period. Those wicks are actually impulse up and down, but they're impulse within structures. Yep, they're all part of structures. I did hedge. Which one should I close? I am not sure what your trade is. Somebody asked, I did hedge the oil. Which one should I close? I have no idea. Honestly, don't even know what trade you're talking about. And also, how can I tell you which one to close? How much can I expect to grow my account in your trading room? How much you expect to grow your account? I have no idea how much you can expect. First thing, I would have to know your ability to trade. I would have to know your experience. I would have to see how fast you're learning the stuff. Then I'll have to see if you have capital to trade, and then I can tell you how fast you can grow that. Because on an average, if all those conditions are good, your experience, you're a very good trader, you learn very fast, and you can handle risk, I think easily you become Sherman in our group, or you become one of those guys who can easily make, I don't want to call all the names here, but there are a lot of names. One, Kalyan or one of those guys who easily make, I think, 5-10% a month. You could do that. That's possible. But those are the experienced guys. We have people who are struggling in the group, and they're probably even barely breaking even at the end of the month. Some of them 1%, some of them are still losing. Right? In the same group where you have traders who are winning and making money, traders are still struggling and still taking 1 or 2 trades and getting losses rather than wins. Right? That all depends on each trader individually. But what we can promise you is we will work with you. We don't leave you. We work with you day in, day out. We do one-on-one with you. We do training with you. I do extra training with you. We have something called marathon. Whereas every now and then, every time we have a session, a training session, I would do from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Moscow time. Every one of my traders who completed the course a year ago, 6 months ago, want to have a new try at it, want to do some more practice, want to make sure they're doing everything right, gets half an hour to present their chart to me, show me what they're doing wrong, and then I'll correct them there. We don't leave you. You have lifetime access to that. You can repeat that every time we do a course. You can go into trading room and ask questions as much as you want. You can come into my webinar and ask questions. We don't leave you. We forced you to learn. We find you and teach you. That is what we can promise you. So even if you're a slow learner, we will help you. That's what we are there for. And not only me, I'm telling you about the very experienced traders. They're there to help you. That is the reason we don't have a subscription base. I don't charge these guys a monthly fee to be there. Because if I do, all the good traders are going to go. They don't need to pay if they're already successful. And the group will be only those traders who are struggling. And it will be only on me to be there to help them. And that is not possible. I have very limited time in the day that I can do that. So I need those guys who already are experienced, successful, to stay in the group and to help somebody else. And they're very good at it. They're willing to do that. They know how important it is for them to stay there and help somebody else. Our group is made up of those kind of people who paid forward, who has had their chance, they were struggling, they learned, they now they're successful, and they're always willing to help. That's why they're there. And that's why I said, you guys stick around, we need you. So I can't charge them a subscription, and that's why we don't. Anybody who's charging subscription, they're looking for a bunch of newbies to pay them every month until you're tired or your account is broken, and then you leave them and they set a new set of people, because that's a monthly salary. If I got 300 people in the room paying me, I don't know, $100 a month, I'm doing pretty well, right? And I can get 1,000 people in the room to pay me $100 a month, and I'll do pretty well, but those people will not. And I don't think that's what I want to do. I'm not based on getting $100 from people who are not making money. You know where I get my pleasure from? When people write me, like the guy just wrote, I made 1,000 pips on your Euro, Aussie CAD and this trade and that. That gives me pleasure. That makes me happy. He's not even in my, by the way, he's not even in my group. Who is the person? Can you please identify yourself, because you already did. And let people know you're not even in my group. When people from my group write me and said, Well, I can see the chart differently. Wow, you know, this course, I'm doing it now, right now, and I've totally changed my trading style. That makes my day. I don't need this $100. That makes my day. That is worth more than the $100 a month you can pay me. It really does. And I get those every day a lot. From TradingView, from this, I get those messages every day. That's what makes my day. When people write things like that, I know I've done something good, I've helped somebody. And that's worth much more than that. You know, I can make money trading. I make money trading. So, you know, I'm not where I'd like to be making money trading, but I'll get there soon. So what else? Let's see. The last few days, we've had. Did you improvise Elliott wave strategy? You mean if I improved the Elliott wave strategy? I don't improvise it. I don't know what you mean improvise it. Improvise is actually pretending or something like that. What we do is we've improved on the Elliott wave as a whole, as a concept, as a theory. And that is why we do wave theory. It's not only Elliott wave. By the way, if you don't know, Elliott was not the first person, neither was he the last person to actually look at the market structure as moving in waves. He just is one of the person who's done quite a lot in identifying patterns. And I mean enormously a lot of work in identifying the patterns. But he hasn't done everything, right? He hasn't told us where to identify a wave. And that is where it comes on to us to do that part. Why is there no correlation? In your opinion, no correlation, because you can just look at the chart and you wouldn't see it. Okay, are you saying that the economy of New Zealand is correlated to the economy of Australia? If they are, well then yes, they're correlation. I don't think they're correlated. Are you saying the British economy is correlated to the European economy? You see what happened to the pound? It just dropped. It is not correlated to anything. It's an individual economy, so it can't be correlated. You know what people say? When the pound drop, all the pairs that are traded against the pound drop. So they said, oh, the pound yen is correlated to the pound Aus. Well, no, it is the pound factor in it that is falling. That's not correlation. That's a factor that is changing, right? So they're not actually correlated. They actually move differently. It depends on how strong is the Aussie and how strong is the euro in relationship to the pound. Gold and silver is correlated? No, go check the charts. If somebody is to say they find a gold mine where they can, you know, there are tons and tons of gold in there, gold price will go down, but silver might not. They're not correlated. They're all individually, you know, they're individual commodities, individual currencies, individual stuff. It is crazy people who look, well, I shouldn't say crazy because people start accusing me of being too radical, right? It's people who have no ideas what they're talking about that start to look for correlation. And they said it's 20% correlated. Well, no, two things moving in the same direction. You and one person moving in the same direction for 10 minutes doesn't mean you're correlated in your actions. You just happen to be going in the same direction for 10 minutes. Then you turn left and he turns right. You don't have correlated activities. You just happen to be walking 10 minutes in the same direction. That's what it is. It's very simple. Correlation, you know what is correlated? Train lines. They will never come together and they'll never move apart. Never. They can go on forever and they will never come together and they will never move apart. That's correlation. If one turns left, the other turns left. If one turns right, the other turns right. That's correlation. Now you can have negative correlation where they go in opposite direction, but that also doesn't exist. Because take the Swiss and the euro. You know they were pegged at one time. So what happens to the correlation when you pegged it? It goes down the trade, right? So you know if you're saying people were saying that they have negative correlation. Let me be exact. And when they say you have negative correlation, that means they should go in opposite direction. Well, they didn't when you peg it. Actually, the only time they had correlation was when you pegged it. Because what they were saying is if euro changes price, so would the Swiss. If the euro goes up, the Swiss goes up. If the euro goes down, Swiss goes. That is correlation. They actually pegged it. How long did that last for? Everybody know what was the results of that, right? So there isn't. Let's go. I don't see any more questions in here. What about Aussie CAD? What about how long? I think gold is going to be in that. I have no idea. We'll see. Do you see Pound Yen making one more impulse down? Possible, yeah. Pound Yen definitely. Great British Pound, one more impulse down. All Pound pairs, I see one more impulse down on daily, not on short term. We can do all a lot of people are requesting individual charts. We can do them. We would run out of time to do that. Let me see. Somebody's asking dear Anil, first, thanks for each second. Okay, do you mind checking? We can do that again. Euro trade, because somebody's asking for Euro INR, Euro trade, and probably you're the only person here trades that, so we can do that. What do you think about gold? We just show what we think about gold. Pang, is it the Pong was the strong move up in the daily? I don't think so. Tree. Somebody put a tree in a question. I have no idea what that means. Do you think Euro CAD will go down some more? Euro CAD? Yep. I think we're looking for them downside in Euro CAD. Pong Yen and Pong Oz. Okay, if we have time, we'll go through those. A lot of people trade those. I see a lot of requests for that. Pong Yen, Pong Oz. Let's go. How can someone join your trading room? I'm working in a broker company, so I have an access to some. But how you can join my trading room? Add me to Skype. It doesn't matter where you're working. Anybody who wants to take the course, add me to Skype. You know my Skype ID by now. You should. I mean, I've been posting it in every single webinar, and people still ask me, "What is your Skype ID?" So let me just post it there. It's MANGAL457. Add me to Skype, and I'll give you all the details there. I don't want to spend a webinar doing that. Let's go. How much the Pong Yen? We will look at Pong Yen. CAD to how much is the cost of your course? You'll get all that info there. Okay, no more questions. I think, let me see, the last few days we've seen that, we've seen that, we've seen that. What else? Oh, Aussie, and there are more requests for Aussie Yen and Euro CAD. And okay, let's look at some more charts and then we'll call it the. Okay, too many questions. What's your sir? Explain Pong Yen. Could you please tell us more about your course? As add me to Skype, you'll get all that info. I promise you. Reanalyze the Euro US. Can you please reanalyze the euros based on 1 hour 15-minute time frame? So it's changed during the webinar. Nope, nothing has changed. Basically, we can do that. We reanalyze it. For sure, I've seen your loss. I've seen it in your the Skype you're talking about. Yep, I promise you he didn't. I don't know what I didn't. I'm working in a broker company, so I'm not sure about that. It doesn't matter where you work. How much is your course? What is the time for the oil again? What is the next date for your course? February. Can you do the course while having a full-time job? You can. You can. The times are flexible in the training session, and you can watch the rest of the classes if you miss them. And depends what's your working time as well. How do I join the group? Yep, I just give that to everybody. CAD is breaking to the downside. Let's go take a look because we want that. The video will be up in about a couple hours if I manage to get it up immediately. Hopefully soon. Yep, thank you very much, Ahmed, for that. I hope to. I'm working towards it. Do long and unpredictable wick and Aussie Pong form structure. Everything is structure. Every part of the wick is a structure. Every part of the movement is a structure, right? So all you have to do is understand what part of it and what structure you're looking at. Great. There is a good, somebody just said. Hizad, I hope I call your name correct. He said it's happened to me after starting following. I was losing my account every 2 weeks, but now I'm actually raising my capital. Great. That make my day. Thank you. Right. I like, you know, and you're not part of my group. I don't remember you. So I know all my traders almost, and I don't think you're part of my group as yet, right? Right? Pretty sure you're not part of my group as yet. Alvin is part of my group. I know that. I know all my traders. So I can tell you them. Yep, I'll put it on YouTube. Everybody's asking if it's going to go. Okay, guys, too many questions now, and I've kept you guys, I've abused your time, kept you here too long. So here's what I'm going to do. We would look at just a couple trades pretty fast. Everybody wanted to do Pong Yen and the Pong Swiss or something like that. Let's go look at them very fast. We'll run through all the Pong trades. Pong Oz going up very nicely. Right, we're in an uptrend, so that upside is understandable, but at some point you can buy this. You could have bought if you want. Wait for it to make a flag, and if it does, you can buy, but if not, there's a possibility they can reverse. right? One more downside is possible in that. Pong New Zealand. This one definitely, I think I don't have to tell you. You can see that this one is looking for an upside here on the break of this structure. Make sure you get a flag and then go in with that trade up, and then probably downside. So you'll trade it up with care. Let's look at long term. Yeah, long term upside. So you probably want to get the buy here. You want to look for that buy setup there in the 1 hour. When it breaks, wait for it to consolidate and then go. You don't have a consolidation, so you want to be careful, right? They break the top, no consolidation. Don't trade it. I hope you have a plan to trade it, how to trade, strategy to trade it. Punk CAD, they all pushed up, but nothing is yet. This one is just breaking out. If they're all going to go up, wait for them to give you here and then take the trade. Don't just buy into a wick that is flying up like crazy, right? Punk Chief, this one, there was a short-term trade we were looking for here. Let me just show you guys short-term. See, this one was a short-term trade. Any one of my traders took the risk in taking this one short-term. You took that trade there, you're amazingly surprised, right? But we were thinking 1, 2, 3 about here and then downside. So see, the short-term trade is a surprise. Now we can put this here. We'll change that structure. We'll relook at the old structure and see what it is. Right, it's actually more upside now. I think we can get more upside as well. 4 hour. Yeah, we're going up, so more upside is possible there. Pong Yen. Pong Yen, you start looking for downside very soon. Put this in a 15. I'll show you. One, two, three. This was a short-term trade, and then it went up. So now we're looking for this one here. Put it in a 1 hour. If you're going to buy this structure here, you have to wait for it to consolidate. Buy, consolidate, buy. Very soon, this could break to the downside. We're expecting structures like that to break to the downside, right? So let's see what else. I think that's all the punk pairs. You mentioned your course required reading the book. What is the title of that book? The Elliott Wave Principles. Thank you. Somebody already gave it to you. Can we see a live trade in next webinar? Sure, why not? But I'm not here to give you trades. I'm here to give you directions of the chart. Live trades we do in our trading room, right? So all live trades we do in our trading room. If you want to see live trades, come into my trading room. Join us, you will see. Thank you for that. Somebody said I should write the book. It's not the first time, by the way. The first set of guys who did the course, he said you should write the book. Because he's a very experienced guy, to be honest. He's very, very experienced. He is a hedge fund manager, private fund manager, not hedge fund. He has his own little small private fund, but it's into the 10 millions. I know that for sure, right? Can Aussie sign up to the course when the Aussie isn't? Yeah, sure. When the Aussie starts to go up, you can take the course. That's okay. Anytime you want, it's okay. Can a long-term student return to the fold? Long-term student return to the fold. You mean if you were with us for a long time? Suzanne, definitely you can come back. Suzanne, you have lifetime access. You don't have to ask. You know that. Just send me a Skype. I remember you. I don't forget you, right? I know my traders. Did I say to you, I know my traders? You know that, right? So come. I know you. I remember you. I don't forget people. Yep. Come back, come back. We're always looking for you guys to come back. Don't. You have lifetime access. You're always welcome. Just send me a note. So, okay, guys, thank you for coming. We had great turnout today. We had 280 people, which is amazing. Let's break that record next week, 300 and above. All of you should invite a friend. Right? Just invite them to come and have a look at what we do. Oh, Sherry, you know, yes, get Suzanne back into the room. So, okay, guys, I would see all of you. You have a wonderful weekend. Sorry, weekend. I'm used to doing it on Friday, right? You have a wonderful week. Sorry about that. I'm used to the Friday, right? You guys have a wonderful week, and it's going to be some nice trading. I'll keep track of my charts and trading view, and I'll see all of you there. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks a lot for coming.